we go, guys. We're going to review the final chapter in our Module 5, using technology to manage information. There is no question how important technology is and has been for the past 20 years, and I think it will have more importance as time goes on, simply because we have come to use technology in nearly everything that we do. Technology is just so important. So let's find a way to use it in the most efficient way. Our objectives are as follows. We're going to distinguish between data, information, and information systems. We're going to list components and types of information systems and hardware and computer software. We're also going to describe networks and security and ethical issues surrounding information. That's going to be a hot topic, obviously, because of all the things that's been going on with hacking. We're going to explain disaster recovery and backup, which is critical. And we're going to finally review some information trends. Information system trends. So information systems is going to be data information. It's going to be a computer mostly, and it's going to be a way of collecting information, processing it. It obviously starts with raw facts, but it also takes this information and sorts it in such a way that it can be used for decision making and storing and communicating and all that kind of stuff. The CIO is really a person, the IT professional, who really knows how to operate systems and how they work and how to get the best information out of them. Components of a computer system or computer operating systems is hardware, the systems, telecommunications, and network and data source management. Now, we already know what software and hardware is. It's the actual physical computer. It could be a laptop. It could be a desktop. It could be an iPad. It could be some kind of tablet of such. Telecommunications and networks, that's obviously the telephone line, whether it be wireless or not. Computer networks is the way to take several computers and link them all together so they can share files, share printing capabilities, etc., etc., etc. Data resource management. Type of information systems, operational support system and management support systems, transaction processing and process control. That's really going to be software kind of thing, wouldn't you think? And then management support is the MIS or the decision support or the executive support. These top level things are important to know, but we really care about details, don't you? The hardware is going to be the physical components that make that computer work. And it doesn't matter the size, it's just a matter of these tangible things that you can touch, see, feel. And if you want to put it in your mouth, you can taste. Input devices like the keyboard and mouse allows users to move data. You know this already. Here is a sample of me using the mouse. I'm actually moving it around and moving it around. This external mouse is wireless, which means it's not connected to the computer, but it is communicating through the computer. Flash drives are critical because they are just as big and bigger sometimes than the actual hard drive of a desktop computer. So things are getting smaller, and the storage processing power is getting larger. And that's the wonderful thing about technology. And I just mentioned the huge amount of computers. But if you can see this little picture right here, this was what, 20, 30 years ago, maybe longer, when computers were so big they took up an entire room. They were in this big cold room. I can remember back when I first started working at an employer, and I was doing a computer work, and we had an IBM mainframe system, and what happened was the IBM mainframe was so big it required an entire room, and the room was always cold. Because the processing unit requires so much heat in order to keep it going, and it had to be a fan inside, and it was just incredible. Now, I don't think I've ever seen anything this big before, and I don't think anybody of the millennials will know what they're looking at. This is just a massive computer. But as you know, we have handheld devices, we have network computers, we have tablets, we have supercomputers, we have mainframes, which is one here. We have a server, and a server is generally a network device that allows computers to link to it and share information. That includes printing capabilities, etc. Computer software, operating system application. PowerPoint is an application, Quicken, and all that kind of thing. Obviously, Excel, Microsoft Excel, Word, Access, as well as others are part of the software package, and you can't really touch them, but you see they're in action because you're allowed to do certain things like I'm doing right now. I'm talking to you on a computer using my PowerPoint and my microphone, voiceover. Operating systems, obviously, are two. There might be more, but I don't think they are. It's two, the Windows and the Mac. Mostly Windows is going to be the operating system that most people use. Why? Because the Mac is generally for different types of applications, and most people are not familiar with Mac, and Mac generally has some limited use. It really does. It still does, even though it's a powerful operating system. Nevertheless, programs, routines, and computer languages, this allows the system to do things based on a command you give it. And before we would have to write a program and tell it to do things. Now it's all inherent in the software programs that we purchase. So everything is so easy. And as you know, the server is this big monstrosity, and it's not really the biggest thing, but it's bigger than a typical machine because the power is required to allow it to link things together. And as you can see here, the server is being linked to the server is linking several different things, like the router, which allows the wireless broadband and now you get on the internet. But it also links the computers, the desktop computers, the network notebook computers, etc. And here are some terms that I think you'll already know. The intranet is going to be the internal internet system, which is very private. But also we're talking about the wireless network, is the Wi-Fi, and also the WAN and the LAN and the internet. All of these things we know. And then the voice over internet protocol, which allows you to talk on the phone and not having a live telephone wire connecting you to a telephone jack. And this is going to be the new wave of communicating over the telephone. As you know, with any computer, regardless of size, you're going to always deal with computer viruses, worms, and Trojan horses, particularly if you're using the internet. You can also open a file that's given to you by someone in a flash drive, and it will have viruses contained in it. So security and worms and viruses are a big problem. And there's no solution, really, because once you resolve one issue with a virus, someone creates another type of Trojan, and here you are again, back to the same thing. And that leads into our wonderful conversation about ethics and all that kind of thing. An issue is most important is privacy. What you do on your computer really should be only your business, and having people trace and track that information truly is a violation of that inherent right to privacy, to do what you want to do in your own home or on your own computer without people intrusive being involved in sharing it or perverting it. And you have a right to your personal use of your computer. It's yours, you paid for it. It's no one else's business how you use it. Therefore, it becomes an issue of ethics and values, whether or not you share information and whether the organization that you trust and do business with will share your information without your permission. So ethical issues are a big thing with computers because now we're dealing with computer to computer communicating versus people to computer or people to people. Organizations obviously use their computers for maintaining their employee records, paying their bills, and all that kind of wonderful stuff. So having a computer system with some type of integrity and passwords that keep people from you doing or seeing things that they're not supposed to or being able to steal. So it's very important that we have some kind of security within our computer system. This is vital. Disaster recovery and backup. Things happen. Bad things happen. And so we can't avoid it. I mean, even if it's a natural disaster or a power failure, you need to be able to have some way to maintain the integrity of your files and not let them be destroyed. So that's disaster recovery and backup is critical. Many companies are now using a cloud to back up their software and their hardware. Why? Because they want to make certain that even if the house blew up, you still have your data and you don't have to worry about having to recreate it because it's already on an off-site location and you can keep it safe. And trends in workforces, most companies are requiring employees to understand how to use computers. But more than that, people are not going to their office every single day. Because they can communicate using the internet and using some kind of chat feature, virtual office is not uncommon. Application software links people together. Cloud and grid computing allows you to be able to do the work and keep your work off-site. It's always good to know that there are other options available so that you and your employees or employers can continue to work without having to come into the office every single day, and the integrity of your data, whether it's be on the cloud or in some kind of internet virtual ways, protected. So in the end, let me make certain I'm going all the way through this chapter because my slides are acting silly. So the main thing about this chapter is we are an information technology driven culture, and it is important for us to be able to use our information technology in such a way that we get the desired output, also maintaining our security and privacy. So with the options available to you with using the information technology and being able to communicate to people across the globe, we need to make certain that if anything does happen, we have in place a way to recover our data. It is all about being responsible and utilizing information technology to do your job most efficiently with low cost. This is the end of my presentation. And again, as I said, thank you very much for listening.